8:02. Not terrible. We have definitely been known to come in a lot later than that, so we will take it. We will call it we are departing on time this holiday weekend, a Labor Day holiday weekend. We are bringing you our special co host. You all know him from Crawlers and Customs. James Bailey is here with me tonight. I am going to bring him right into the captain's seat so I don't have to suffer up in this cockpit by myself. Let's make some room for none other than our good friend James. Let's bring him in here at the stage, just like
What
that.
what's happening?
Welcome, welcome to the Rad Show, sir. Um,
Thanks. It's my
I hate
second time.
this second time.
Second time.
No, wait, second time in this seat, playing
Not as
host.
co-host, no, as guest.
Okay,
It was
this
guest
is a
first
big
time.
deal. All right,
Yeah.
we made room. You are co-hosting with me tonight for my Trick RC is here. I know
Hmm.
you are familiar. I know you
Yep.
met him. Uh,
Yep.
Big fans of the product and the brand of what he has done for the RC world over the years.
Some of those have his stuff in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's definitely done some neat things, and he did bring help. So as we get technical and we get into the down and dirty, as we get technical, he brought some backup with him.
Mm.
Taylor from Crawlers and Coffee. My goodness, what they have done with this Crawlers and Coffee. Holy crap. I've never heard a bad word about this event, and it pops up all over the place. So I'm excited to hear Taylor share a little bit on that. But
Mm.
that will definitely be us planting a seed tonight. We can put a pin in it. We will bring Taylor back for his own 1 hour show to be able to talk about what he does for us in the RC world.
Cool.
Um, so, James, anything new and exciting in your world? I know that you've moved.
Yeah.
So what is home base now? What is?
Home base is North Georgia, and we couldn't be happier. I mean, we really love it up here. I've met some new friends. I'm competing in the Georgia Drift Series. I'm doing really well in that. So, actually, some of my family lives up here, and I've had some friends move up, but I'm meeting new people and seeing new things. Started kayaking, been riding my bike more, hiking. So, glad to be out of the chaos that was South Florida, and got a new office, some new lighting, plenty of space now. So,
You're
I'm pretty
almost
blessed.
you're almost like a professional now. It's almost like
Almost
you
getting there. When I grow up, I strive to be a professional.
when we all grow up.
Yeah.
You said the D word. You just come right out of the gate swinging with the big giant D word.
Where is it?
Drift,
Let's see.
drift,
Drift. Yeah.
drift, and
Drift.
drift.
Drift right there. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's scale, right? And that's one of the things that I really strive for. I'm not into techno 1/8 scale buggy racing because it doesn't look scale to me. But I like crawlers, I like drift cars. I'm into planes and boats. There's some behind me, and really the scale scene. So I like utility and construction, and drift is an offshoot of that because you can really build into the scale side and not have it get destroyed like you would on a basher or even a crawler for that matter. I mean, my drift cars, you couldn't tell them apart from new, most of them, and I drive the heck out of them. I mean, when I go, the guys will tell you I'll burn through 20 packs in a session. So I'll be driving for hours and hours, and it's really therapeutic and relaxing and fun. So yeah, I drift for fun, but I also compete.
Fantastic. I can't agree with you more. I think as I dip my toe into the world of drift, I am not about to say that I'm a drifter. We called it a little bit more bumper cars today than anything, but we took your advice. We just kind of got out there and did
Just
it.
gotta start doing it.
And it did exactly what you said. It attracted others very quickly. That, hey, what are you guys doing? Check this out. How do I get one? Where do I get this? And
Yeah,
pretty
it
much
starts
just
with
looking,
two. Yeah, it starts with
and it
two, then three
grows.
guys, then five, and then I showed you RC Playground in Miami as a good example. That really started
Insane.
with a gentleman named Christopher and myself that met at a Cars and Coffee, a full size event. I was driving one of my 450s around with a trailer and stuff, and I saw his drift car on top of his actual car. And I said, "Oh, you have a drift car?" He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "You like drift?" I said, "Yeah, man, just no place to do it." He's like, "Well, let's do a little pop up." And so I made a few barriers and some scale items for a little pop up track. And that happened a handful of times, and I got enough attention to where it snowballed into what it is today. And that was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago in South Florida. And now they have a huge space, many drivers. They have a indoor crawler course, they have a mini Z course, and they have a huge drift track.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so they're doing well
All
over
right.
there.
That is fantastic. These guys get ultra scale. The whole drift scene gets ultra scale from
It's
the
all about scale.
interior.
It's all
It
about scale.
really is. It was an eye-opening experience for me to realize how
Show you my,
scale the whole drift scene gets.
I'll
And
show you
I think,
my latest build right here while you're talking.
yeah, no, it was taken back by how scale drift is. I blown away. That is slick, bro. So I can see your roll cage. Is that your universal roll cage,
Well,
or
it's not universal. I do make them model specific, but yeah, it's this cage that I design and 3D scan these bodies. So you end up with a form fitting, easy, super easy to install cage. I know some guys will use styrene, but this is a plug and play solution for somebody that wants a good looking
fits like a
cage that's
glove?
made. Yeah, it's literally to the millimeter uh, made for this body. So I have it for a few other bodies, and one of the deals I have with the local guys is if they have a body that I don't already make a cage for, they give me their body. I scan it. I give them the first cage for free, and then I have the ability to put that cage up on my website so others could buy it. So
Well,
that's
it
how
allows
a
you.
lot of these
Yeah,
started.
you're building
Yeah,
your portfolio of
it's a
cages
win-win.
that you can do.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. I don't have to buy all the bodies, and everybody that gives me that first body gets that cage for free.
Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, I think that's going to tee us up, my friend, for a perfect little segue for the main reason that you and I are here tonight, James, is to get to know the lighter side of My Trick RC. Why don't we do it this way? We're going to bring them in one at a time so they're not tripping over each other. We'll bring
So
in Taylor first.
maybe it's the darker side of my
Yeah,
trick
the
RC.
darker
Yeah,
side. I like the
yeah, yeah,
darker. All right, all right.
yeah.
All right, so let's Taylor, make yourself presentable. We are going to open with a intro, and when we come out of that intro, we should
Put
have
your pants
Taylor
on.
here. Yeah,
Yeah,
pull
put
up
your
your
pants on.
zipper. Pull up your zipper. Get yourself decent. We're coming to you, Taylor.
Ground control, we're loaded and ready to taxi.
Flight 209er, you are cleared for takeoff.
All
There
right,
he is.
I got my shirt on. We're good.
You're decent. You're decent.
Thank you.
I like
Thank
it. I only wanted to start with you, Taylor. I like making Dan sweat. We'll just keep letting him stress it out. We brought you here as a face, and the backup. Your Dan's bulletproof vest tonight to help him out if we get down and dirty and hit something technical that you need to back him up on. You're gonna feed off of each other, the yin and yang, the Jekyll and Hyde. We'll let you two feed off of each other, but we also planted a seed because we're going to bring you back because we want to get to know Crawlers and Coffee. So, Taylor,
Yes, sir.
tell us who you are, and I guess you can't tell us who you are without saying Crawlers and Coffee. I almost want to dare you. Tell us who you are without saying Crawlers and Coffee.
All right, that's actually pretty easy because I got into this with my father-in-law and my two brother-in-laws right as the pandemic hit. I'm what we were talking about earlier, kind of an RC pandemic baby. There was nothing else to do. I mean, we couldn't go outside. I couldn't go do the normal things we did, as dirt bikes and off-roading, stuff like that. Everything was shut down. So we had to find something else to do. My brother-in-law found an RC car, started getting into it. I went over there, started playing. I was like, dude, this is I have an addictive personality. I can't do this. I can't play with it. They talked me into it. I finally got one, and it's been downhill from there. I mean, I have my whole garage is full of RC cars. I mean, we do so much with RC cars, and we saw the awesomeness and the family camaraderie, the friendships that are built on RC cars. So we just dove into it head first, and that's where I met some crazy cool people. I mean, a lot of awesome people in this industry. Speaking like of Dan, I met Dan at Proline by the Fire, where everybody meets Dan, and we hit it off from there. And he's an awesome dude, and he knows that I'm really big into social media. I'm good at promoting and talking. People say I don't shut up. So he brought me on to help him out and kind of be the backside of my trick with some wonky ideas in my brain that doesn't stop moving. So I'm over there helping him, and he's the technical guy. I just draw on a napkin and say, Dan, make this. And I don't know, a couple days later, he's like, here you go, I made it. I'm like, well, how did you do that? Because Dan's the man with that. So I'm happy he brought me on board to help him out with all this stuff, and it's been an adventure and a wild ride.
Well, obviously he trusts you because it takes a while. As a business owner, it's a lot to get on the same wavelength and allow someone. As a business owner myself, it takes a lot to let somebody be a mouthpiece for you, to trust that they're going to say the right things, to put out that same passion and enthusiasm that I want out there. You know, to be on that same wavelength takes a lot of trust. So I'm glad that you two found each other. This is fantastic.
Yeah, he's a trusting man to let this guy that doesn't shut up about anything I talk about. He's letting me kind of take the reins with anything, my trick to the public and whatnot. And I want to note, I did not say those words right there in that.
You did not. Bravo. Okay. When you come back, we'll let you say that word as many times as you want.
I'll be back on.
Before we bring on Dan, I do have a question about the hat. Are you a former? I
am not.
Formal. Okay.
I am not. No, I am not. I'm just a huge representative. I just want to represent and showcase anything Operation 11 Charlie that I ever can. I mean, those guys are amazing. Javi and the whole team, awesome guys.
Hoorah. Well said. I know now why Dan has put you forward. So let's turn this show into the Brady Bunch, and we're gonna fill this screen with 4 of us. This is kind of a first.
Can the screen handle this much ugly though? That's what I
don't know, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ugly here, so it's been doing good already.
James, the pressure's on you, buddy. I brought you here for the eye candy. I brought you here for the ladies. So
I'm just a trophy guest, is what you're saying.
Yes, you're my trophy wife tonight. All right, let's make room for Dan. Dan, make yourself presentable. This is your last warning. I see you there. Pull up the zipper. Make yourself decent.
He texted me he's putting his shirt on, so we're good.
Yeah. Take all the time you need.
All right, here we go. Add the stage. Boom. All right, so what we're going to do, stand down. You know what we are going to try? We're going to try this. There we go. There we go. We're going to let it run just like this. I was thinking about 4 even corners, but I think this is how we're going to do it, Dan. We're going to leave you front and center. You had all the pressure. We're going to make you sweat tonight.
Can I ask Taylor to switch?
You'll have to tune in another week when we talk crawlers and coffee with him. So tonight is your night.
Yes.
I know you don't like to be that personally connected. You try to stay behind the My Trick RC logo a bit. You try not to put the name and the face out there. But Taylor said it best. You cannot hit Proline by the Fire without getting to know you. That's kind of when we get to look behind the curtain, like that old Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. There he is. There is Dan. So all the pressure. Real quick, give us a formal intro, who you are, what you do.
I want to know how did My Trick get started? Like, what was the catalyst that turned it from nothing to where you're at today?
It was an interesting journey, actually. I worked at a company, and I worked for a company that designed products for other companies. So we just worked on all sorts of projects of everything imaginable, from like baby toys to medical devices and everything in between. And I always had this desire to have my own business, and I didn't really like the boss, of course, like everybody. But I kind of had this ambition to do something, but I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I really liked RC. Actually, a bonus check. I got a bonus check one year, and I had always wanted to get into RC. And I was older. I was probably in my, I don't know, 40s or so. Mm-hmm. And I went out and I bought a Traxxas Slash, and I was just, as an engineer, and I'm sure you can relate to this, James, like I was so impressed by, how far RC had come, like the technology, the batteries, just they progressively get more and more like actual cars and trucks. Literally, the details just, and I was so impressed by where it was even then, and to see it now is even more impressive. But I had so much fun with it. I'm like, the problem was I'd go to try to play with that thing at nighttime. And it's like I could never see it down the street or wherever. It was like, so I had started looking for lights, and there was just like nothing out there. There was no good solutions. Everything was just bad, terrible. And I was just like, okay, well, where could I do? What could I do? And that kind of kicked it off. The first controller that I did, we still sell it. It's the UF7 controller. Some people might have heard of it.
I have it back there somewhere on some of those trucks in my 450s, I'm sure.
Awesome. Yeah, it's still a great controller. We've had it since the beginning, and we've updated the software to add more features to it. But the controller is exactly the same way. There it is. Good man, Taylor.
That's it.
It's right there. Yeah. So yeah, that thing is still the only upgrade we ever did to that, other than software updates, was the output, that little pigtail output. Originally, that was just to power like police flasher bars. That was the original intent for that thing. And as time grew, I'm like, oh, light bars. It needs to be able to, why can't it power light bars? It should be able to power light bars. So we made one little component change. But other than that, that hardware has been around forever, and that thing is rock solid. We never have issues with that thing. I would be like,
I think my favorite product from you guys, and it's probably the 450 I drive the most, is the utility light bar. Yeah. And I love showing off when I stop that the two utility lights turn white and sort of light up the bed area, and then also it moves to the left, so it looks like you're on the right side, shoulder, with your emergency lights on. So people get a kick out of that. I'm just watching for a few seconds. I park, and then it goes into that mode, and it's killer. So super scale looking, nice and low profile. I think it's by far the best solution out there.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, that was another fun project. It's the cool thing is like that the company where I worked, and I worked there while I had my Trick RC for quite a few years, at least 5 years. And we worked on a lot of like cool technology products, and like the motion sensors, that was a natural thing. I'm like, oh, we have to find a way to incorporate that into a product. And the great thing is with that flasher bar, even if you don't have it connected to our system or any system, even standalone, it's a motion sensor. So as soon as motion stops on the vehicle, even if it's being powered off a 9-volt battery, it'll still do exactly the same behavior. So
yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah,
I think it is important to say, Dan, as you touched on the hardware and how durable it is, I think it's a perfect segue to mention it is Recon G6 certified. Many of our people here tonight watching now and our viewers are familiar with what the Recon is and what a badge of honor it is to get something G6 certified. It's real world, I forget how he puts that, scenario. It's truly proven to run 12 hours out on a trail. You know that the product is durable, waterproof, in real world scenarios, track proven. So it is a badge of
Right.
honor for you guys to put out such a good quality product in the hardware side. But mentioning the software, it is super cool. If you guys are doing police, ambulance, that's where
Construction,
you perk
utility.
up.
Yeah.
Yes, these things are got the software to go along with it to bring them to life. Here, oh, there you go. Look at that. Oh,
On cue,
snap.
on cue.
It crosses all boundaries. That's a great. What a great
Taylor,
display
you're
here.
earning your keep. Oh my, bingo.
Once again,
He's Van
Come on.
Alright to Dan.
he comes through in the clutch.
Very
I
cool.
told you.
Yeah,
Can't get
it's
that truck out of there.
right. You know, you made a comment. It might have actually been before we came on, James. That you know, the things that you make are things that you want, and you know what? That is really the core of exactly how I think too. It's like all of the features and all of the products. I just sit here and think like, what would I want it to do? And I just work towards that. And there's a lot of refinement that goes into. A lot of times you get down the road and you realize, oh, that's way harder than I thought, or that doesn't quite feel right. We need to tweak this or that. It takes a little bit, but that's the fun of it, really.
Yeah, I think it's probably similar for you. I think only 5 or 10% of what I've messed with you actually sees the light of day and hits the website. Most of it is stuff that either I wasn't happy with, I couldn't produce, economically. There wasn't enough sales volume potential. There wasn't enough turns. There's a host of reasons that it won't ever make the light of day. But for the stuff that does, that's the rewarding part. When somebody goes, "Oh, that's cool. I want that," right? Then you did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super awesome when people give you that feedback. That is great. That's where it's at for sure.
Yeah.
And a huge thing that Dan does too is he takes that feedback. I mean, I have a few drawers next to me right here behind me under the table of all the product just since I've been here, the last not even a year, and of reiterations of each product that we've developed, and then we talk to some people, see what they think of it, and Dan takes what they say and changes it. I have of just our grills right here that we have for the Power Wagon and Comp Wagon. I have 9 different styles we did until we got it to where we wanted it, because we had it, and then he starts talking to people, and he takes what people say out in the field at Axial Fest and stuff like that, and changes it to make it fit. Oh, that was a good idea that this kid had, or that guy, oh, he nailed it. Let's put that into there. So a lot of the things take a lot of time for us to get out, because Dan's meticulous on making it like exactly what he wants for the people, like pretty much what he was saying too.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great summary. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely true. And I'm sure you guys can totally relate to that too.
Absolutely. Going back, we can talk about BC. Before COVID, there was a life in the RC world before COVID when we were messing around with the HPI Venture back in the early days. That was a fun one. You did a great light bar for that. You've done many trucks over the years. How would you summarize your website, Dan? Is it more of a build your own kit, or is the majority of your stuff pre-bundled and packaged like for a specific truck?
That is a great question. That's one of the best questions you could ask. It's interesting because it's evolved, and it is continuing to evolve. So as you basically pointed out, when I started out, my thinking was to make things generic, make things that would apply to everything: airplanes, any aircraft, boats, everything. That's why the UF7 has all those modes in it. It literally has a mode for like almost everything. In fact, one of the iterations the UF7 went through, the UF7 it's gone through four revisions. It was original, B, C, and now R. From the original to B, we added a bunch of more functionality into the modes, and particularly aircraft, we actually, half of the memory of the chip was dedicated to aircraft. And on the UF7C and B, the only difference between those two is the C is fully waterproofed. It's has the one with the upgrade for the light bars. But yeah, I mean, so back to your original question, it's like pretty much you can see from the website. Originally, I really was about a DIY. Oh, awesome, perfect. Yeah, the UF7, the original. Actually, that's a bad. Oh, wrong picture. That should have an R.
Oh,
So this is
okay.
the latest one. The R is the latest version of it, which has even more functionality. We actually took out the aircraft entirely so that we could add code for this to work with Spectrum radios. We had to actually reverse engineer all of the Spectrum radios because a few years ago, Spectrum tried to get all the telemetry data into their servo signal. And so to do that, they had to create their own proprietary communication. It doesn't follow standard steering motor servo functionality. There's actually a weird special code we had to write to actually work with those vehicles. So this is the only controller currently that we have that does work with certain Spectrum radios that have that. The ones that have the stability control, those are the ones that require this.
They call it AVC or something like that.
Exactly. Yes.
Active vehicle control. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yeah, I've really tried to make it. I've really tried to create products that creative people could use, incorporate into their whatever their creative ideas, to try to make it easier to create their ideas. And I actually have not been great at messaging that out to the world. Really, in my mind, there's so many things you could do with the UF7 controller. For example, I keep talking about that one. All of the controllers have good uses in different places, but like the UF7, you can do like dioramas, and I don't know if you can see in the background, I have a Star Wars scene back here. I have Darth Vader.
I see the swords. Yeah.
And yeah.
I shouldn't say swords. I'm going to get roasted for that. The lightsabers.
The lightsabers. Yeah. Yes.
It's already been on
Right.
the internet. You're done now.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. We were just goofing around with the new light ones that we're coming out with. But yeah, no, we really have tried to make I've tried to make products that other people could incorporate perfectly, exactly like the kind of stuff that you do, James, where you're creating your own stuff, you're modeling things, you're printing them, you're incorporating things in. That's kind of been my thinking. Although I'm going to try to make some changes to that a little bit. Initially, we didn't have any kits that were specific to any vehicles. The first one that we did was the Defender, the Traxxas Defender. That was the first kit that we ever, I think that was the first one that we ever did that was specific to a vehicle. And that was a really big success. So since then, now if you look on the website, you can see the off-road section or car section. We have kits that are, specific to certain vehicles, mostly off-road.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are looking for a solution that doesn't have them scouring the internet, the corners of the internet, trying to find something that can be cobbled together, where you can say, hey, this is for that truck or that car, and it's going to fit this body perfectly or that chassis well. Then they have the confidence to tackle that DIY because there's a clear path to success. Where a lot of times I think I think where I like to play is in that area where there's no path to success, right? I'm pushing a rock up a hill, but that's not, I don't think that's not what most hobbyists do. They want to sit in the evening, get their project done, and maybe go take it out on the weekend with their friends. And so having that path, that clear pathway for them to upgrade or modify is important.
Yeah. Yes. I can see it now. Sometimes I'm a little slow picking things up, but that one is clear to me now. It's like, that is definitely the better alternative. Make it easier for the customers to do things. And that's, what have made the kits so, good for us doing specific kits. The hard part now is, which kits do you do? Because you can't do all of them. That's
takes
overwhelming.
Yeah, it takes time. It's hard. That's one of the areas I struggle with too. Is what's the next thing that I want to tackle, and is it worth my time? Because at the end of the day, it is a business, right? And I need to pay the
Mhm.
bills, and so you've got to balance that like passion of like the semi behind me, which was just for myself, right? Versus maybe doing something for a drift car that's more popular that will sell 100 units rather than 10 units. So
Exactly.
I'm always trying to figure that out myself. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's the hard part is I want to do all of it, but it's
Yeah.
just a pure time limitation. Like you said, you just can't do it all.
Yeah, and then
Um,
also, that I struggle with it's never good enough, mindset either. Like this silly little cage. I mean, I have a 3D scanner, but this is like the 10th version, and it's
Mhm.
it's not because I've changed a ton. It's because I moved this out 2 millimeters and I tweaked this angle a little bit, and then
Mhm.
maybe I move where the gauge cluster is, and I print it again. I go, okay, that's good, but I want to change this now, and so I
Right.
keep you know
Improving
working
it.
on these iterations. Yeah, and then it doesn't make it to the website because I'm still playing with it. I'm still
Yeah.
adjusting it. So, but eventually you have to say, okay, this is really good, and I'm 98% happy with it. And then you put it
Mhm.
out. Otherwise, you'll just never get anything done.
Well,
Right. Yeah.
I think that's a perfect segue there, James, to put this ball back in Taylor's court to push Dan along sometimes, to just sometimes push it forward. You need to just jump in and release it and not be too particular. And you need to strike while the iron's hot sometimes, especially like with
Yeah.
the optic. When those new releases come, you might not want to sit around too long and wait and keep picking
Yeah.
yourself apart. The reason why I put it back in Taylor's court is Dan's awfully critical about himself, about his own
Right.
work, and James, you're the same way. You over critique what you're doing, and that's how come you end up with that computer screen like you do, James, with all those parts that will never see the light of day. I've
Yeah.
taken a glance at all those designs that you've done and the amount of time that you've invested. Um, Sometimes you just need to step forward and get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Don't
see
don't be so
RC
critical.
next Tuesday. RC next Tuesday's in the house. I'll do the call outs for saying hello.
Perfect.
So
Yes, perfect. We got
what's
Nick and
happening
Fish and
next
Bill
Tuesday?
is here.
Yeah.
Um, Now, can you tell us in a brief one or two words? That's going to be kind of hard. Dan is the type of guy you ask him what time it is, and he will always tell you how to build a clock. Um, the Dragon, the DG1, is the other proponent or option for controller. Is there an easy difference between the UF7 and a Dragon? If somebody was coming to your website, what is the difference, and which one would you tell them to lean towards? Is it
Yes.
in the software or also in the hardware
No, it's both, but
function?
mostly hardware, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason, so I had the UF7 first, and what I realized is it was really great at doing a lot of things, but it wasn't ideal. We I launched the Dragon, the SQ1 controller, which is our drift controller, our little drift controller, the Dragon, and all of our light bars, all of the high power light bar stuff, all at the same time. So that was really when MyTrick RC fully kicked off. That was in 2015. I took basically all of the money that I had, I scraped it into a big pile, and I tooled up all of those products. And the Dragon controller, what is specifically meant for is off-road applications. And some of the highlights about the Dragon controller and make it uniquely for off-road, first and foremost, it has black outputs on it. Those are our high power outputs. They're 5-volt outputs. The white connectors are approximately a 3-volt output for standard 3mm, 5mm running lights, tail lights, those kind of accent details. And the black connectors, those are the high power ports. And so with the size of the Dragon, and what really makes it an awesome controller is what you don't see. It's all the electronics behind there. There's a very sophisticated power supply there that is really efficient, and it allows us to power a numerous, almost really as many high power LEDs as you want, off of one controller. And the and it does it so perfectly and so reliably. We've had, I don't even know how many thousands and 10,000, I don't even know how many controllers we have out there, that we've sold, over the years. So the Dragon is waterproof. It's got, it can drive all these high power LEDs. You can have light bars, rock lights, headlights, accent lights, whatever. Really, if I've had guys that work on houses. They do home inspections, and they got to get under the house. So they build these RC rigs, and they just line it with cameras, and they'll get like 6 or 8 of our light bars, and they'll just blast the hole underneath of the house and drive through their cameras. It's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really, really awesome controller. It has adjustable brightness. That was another innovative feature I felt at the time. There was really nothing out there that had any kind of adjustability in that regard. So with the adjustable brightness, it has a couple benefits. One is you don't necessarily need all that light or necessarily want all that light all the time. If you lower the brightness, you're also saving battery. So you can save the high brightness for when you really want it. And even in the medium level mode, it's pretty bright. And if you want to take pictures of your badass truck and you don't want all your lights blown out, well, you can put it on the lowest brightness mode, and boom, there you go. You can get great photos. It makes it real easy. Plus the Dragon, another innovation, especially at that time, it has remote brightness control. So you can actually turn on and off brightness both remotely and manual. It has a manual little button on there. So no matter what the scenario, you can easily adjust your controller. Another innovation that the Dragon has, it takes power directly from your battery. So you're not, if you're powering a whole bunch of light bars, you don't want to be sucking all that stuff through your controller, stealing from your servo, etc. Takes it straight from the battery, and it's completely managed. The power is completely managed by the Dragon controller. Another cool feature that it has, when you plug it in for power, it takes a second to boot up. What it's doing, it's looking for 2 things. It's looking at the battery to see which battery it is. Because it has a battery protection mode, it'll never overdraw your battery. It'll shut the lights off if your battery gets drained down too far. So when you turn it on, it senses what voltage it is, automatically sets itself, and then it also looks to see if there's a servo signal present. If it sees a servo signal, that would be, there's 2 servo inputs there. Yeah, perfect. The red one is for your remote on-off control. So that would go into like your 3rd channel. The black one is for your brake. So you can, on one of the white outputs, you can have it function as either a brake light or reverse light. So that's where we get that input from the receiver.
Right.
Wow. And then it comes set up for a 2S or 3S very conveniently right there. Oh, fantastic.
That's actually a little bit older of a connector. We have individual separate connectors, so it's a little less wire when you're setting it up. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really, really solid controller. It also has a quick disconnect in line, so that normally the controller gets attached to the body rather than the chassis. But your rock lights are on your chassis, and you need to disconnect your body. There's a disconnect. You can easily, separate things.
Taylor, so what I'm getting out of this is it seems like the Dragon is a what I would call more of a comp-based build, a little less flair, maybe without all the bells and whistles. This thing gets right down to the heart of it, gives you a lot of power, durable, but if you're not rocking a theme build like an ambulance or a police where you need flashing strobes and stuff, the Dragon would be the one for more of a flat rail comp build. Am I on point with that? Am I close? Am I in the wheelhouse?
you're in the wheelhouse a little bit. It'll be more for like, as I brought out a second ago, you could see the CJ7, something with many lights you're going to be running off of. This is a really good component and controller for those. But if you're looking for a super simple, you're just wanting rock lights, a light bar, something like that, we have a huge, awesome one is our HB-2. That's a great one. I use it in almost every single one of mine. We've been working hard on that. We got that thing dialed perfect, as well as something else we're working on in the background right now that should be out in the following months, more specific to what you are talking about. Simple, sleek, small, and to the point. I don't know how much Dan's wanting to talk about that, but
yeah, I was actually
have
thinking
one.
that I would give a sneak peek, except I don't
right.
know where I
I
said
have it right here.
It's so sneaky
right
that
It's so sneaky. Yeah.
it disappeared.
So this little tiny thing, I got the little thing in front of me, but let me get this off quick. And here is how small sneak peek we have for something we're working on is only that big.
Hang on. I'm putting you front and center for 1 second here. Let's do this.
No worries.
And is there a top secret working code name for this project?
So
Not really officially been named yet.
No.
I mean, we
Well,
have
all right, hold it up.
working. We have the
The
SKU.
file, I mean, the files have to be called something. They can't just be called Untitled.
Yes.
so just clarify, Dan, this is the 2. I won't have
This
the
is
other
the
one,
2.
but something that is this small
Mhm.
Okay.
in comparison to the UF7.
So it's the size of your pinky, basically.
Yeah.
Now
It is very
that
small.
that is getting James's attention right away. Somebody who's building ultra scale with interior and space is an issue. This is an ideal like controller. Like when
Yes,
space is
and
an
you're
issue.
able to power bright, very easy, small. I mean, you can see it's almost the size of my connector itself. I mean, you can see
the
Like
balance plug. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
like it.
very, very sleek, small in design. This will be more towards what you were saying with that Class 2 comp style. When I came in, we know that Class 2 it's booming right now. It's the thing. Everyone's really getting into Class 2 theme or Class 2 style builds. And working with Dan on that is to get something for those guys that are out there at night. You have night comps with the hot summers here in Southern California, going out in 110 degrees. You can't be doing that. So I go out at night, a bunch of my buddies, and the HB2 has a small enough surface to where it is small enough. I run that currently. I have it in my VRD. I have it in my Pro right here. I run those now. But working on something even more sleek and a smaller design is something that we've been really pushing for. And we've got it almost perfect now. So it should be coming out shortly. There's no exact date, but shortly we are coming out with 2 different variations of this small, slim style that is direct plug for one of them. Another one's going to be not a direct plug. We're going to be able to make it so you can run 2S or 3S or anything like that. But without giving too much of it away, because it's still kind of in the top secret there that all the viewers right now are going to see. But a very slim, simple design. And
Love it.
we think this is going to be a home run.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. It's kind of another iteration, on another offering for another application, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Drilling
So here's
down a
the
little
Dragon.
bit to specific applications versus universal fit.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, very simple, small.
It doesn't have
Yes.
any of the. It's really stripped down to the lowest, simplest, compactest thing it could be. So there's no functions in there whatsoever. There's no on-off control. We are
Plug and
planning
play.
to offer those. Yeah, we'll offer those as separate add-on things you can put in line. The goal here is to try to make everything really, really compact and modular, basically.
Less is more. Less is more
Yes.
in most times, and that is very important. So, bravo.
Yes. Yeah. So the main one that we will be focusing on actually has 4 outputs. This is the circuit board for it. and it actually has 4 outputs. It has 2 here and 2 here. These are all black outputs. And in fact, they won't all be, there'll be at least 1 or 2 low power outputs. So you can combine a couple running lights if you want to, or accent lights, and a couple high power rock lights, headlights, or some minimal, ultra minimal combination that no function, just direct.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So is that around the CX1? Is that what we're looking at here? Is CX1 is
Similar.
similar?
Another
Okay.
variation.
The variation of it. Okay.
Yeah, the CX1
Ballpark.
is really meant for like the 24 scale predominantly. It can only handle a servo that has 5 volts. Anything higher than 5 volts is not suitable for the CX1. Some people do use it. There's certain vehicles that actually do come stock with 5 volts on their radios. Element vehicles typically do. So it's Element vehicles. It is, in many cases, you can run this. If you have stock electronics, you could use this. I love it.
Showing little hints, little sneak peeks to the viewers.
In the background, you're like goofing off.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean,
Oh, we got the whip.
wild.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah, we have. They're coming. You'll see them very soon. These are
Oh,
Very-
game changers.
so that's the question I wanted to ask you, Dan. If you were at Proline by the Fire, where most people start to really can make a connection with you, get to see you set up at a base camp with the display and what you're doing, are you selling at that event? Can they walk up to your booth and purchase there, or is that more of a
Yeah.
It is point of sale right there at your booth. Bravo.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, that was another big change that we made a couple years ago. I used to go out to these events,
With
Proline
the
by the
display.
Fire.
And that was
Yeah,
it.
and I would put all that energy into the Scale City, but I wouldn't sell, and it really was hard. It was very costly to do, Scale City. It
Oh,
was a
right.
marketing effort, but it was also, honestly, it was a labor of love and giving back to the community. That had a whole evolution of its own. But it's really fun. I mean, it is fun working on that and building it, but it is a tremendous amount of work. Everybody can imagine it. It is exactly as you imagine it.
Yeah, it takes
My
up a bunch of
biggest
space too. I remember the castle from Proline
Yeah.
where I met you, Dan, and it was the biggest thing there. It was massive.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
We lost the
With-
castle, unfortunately.
Yeah,
With
well,
the,
it'd have to have its own, tax code or zip code, because that thing was just it
Yeah.
dwarfed
Yes.
everything else in the show.
Right. The heirs could no longer afford it. We had to move to a new building. We moved to a new shop, a new office.
Great photo opportunities though in front of that. So that's one of the things
There
I
were.
remember.
but not enough credit went back to Dan. You really did not put My Trick RC all over the place. It was
I know.
not. That was my biggest critique. I said, even
Yeah.
if you wanted to mask it somewhere on one of the back walls, like kind of airbrush in, like a graffiti
Mhm.
My Trick RC, you did not pat your back. You did not really you didn't badge it all up. You didn't take enough credit
Yeah.
for all the work you did.
Yeah, it was not a commercial venture.
No.
And that's I'm torn with that. Like the same thing with the Scale City. I can do that, and I should do it more. And Taylor, that's what Taylor's
You're
going to help.
owed
That's what
that.
I'm here for.
No,
That's what
it
Taylor's here
needs it needs a My Trick RC badge.
It
Like
does.
It
brought
does.
to you, sponsored by.
Yes.
And like I said, even if you want to mask it, like somebody graffitied My Trick RC on the back wall, if you don't want to,
Mhm.
go balls out and put your name in neon lights,
Right.
Matt,
Which we might do
tone it
also.
down.
Well, if you are going to do it, it needs to be in neon lights, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Literally.
Now that we can do it, we have to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally. That's yes.
Well, James, in 2019, we went for the Back to the Future kind of year. Was that the theme that year? Was it literally Back to the Future? Was that the concept for
Well,
it that
it-
year?
it was movies.
Was it movies?
It was movies. So I
old-
think
Well, I remember there was James Knight had like the Back to the Future style pickup that he was doing that year. That was before RC Four Wheel Drive did their version of the Back to the Future truck. But side note, as we were wrapping up and everybody's packing up and getting ready to go, because it got called early because the wind came in, that California high gust. Dust is
Yep.
kicking up, and people started, people are used to it in Cali. Us Eastern boys are like, what the hell's happening? I'm getting sandblasted. Well,
Yeah, it's
we
rough.
had to
It's rough for us out there. The
And for
Eastern guys, I have to chime in. It's your West Coast stuff is no
Yeah,
joke.
it
I like
is,
the
right?
shade. I like the shade and the cool and some water. When I
Yeah.
went to Proline, I felt like I was going to
Not
die.
here.
My wife almost died. It was
Yeah.
was hot and dry.
Velcro rocks and heat everywhere. Like
Spiders, it was sharp rocks. I mean, I don't know. I felt like I was in a Mad Max, movie set out there.
well,
It is.
it's a different type of driving. I think if I would have left my truck there, it'd still be hanging upside down from one of those sticky rocks out there.
Yep.
Like I'm literally pulling it off the side of the hill, like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sticks. But everything got packed up in a hurry, and the guy I was with, Desmond Mooney, he was heartbroken. He's like, I didn't get a chance to get to the Scale City. I wanted to get in front of the bar and get some photos. Dan had everything packed up in his car, and he overheard Desmond saying this, like, I wanted to get some photos. What's Dan do? Go back to his truck, pulls the stuff out for him, sets up a small little spot just for Des to get some more photos because of that stupid wind that blew in. And that's
Man,
just
the people.
that is exactly where else are you going to get that kind of customer service? And Dan didn't make a penny off of that. That was
Right.
pure sacrifice, trying to make someone happy. And a guy that flew 10 hours from Jersey to go out to this event, you made his event by doing that. So thank you.
Yeah, I had to, something
Very
like that.
cool.
I think it's just the right thing to do.
It
Yeah.
goes a long way. People remember those little things that a business does. You did not have to do it. And fun
Life doesn't
story
need to
I
be
had to share.
complicated.
Yeah.
But I
So-
wanted to show you something. You mentioned.
I love to see stuff, so you're in luck.
You mentioned.
Dan has lots of
It's a
cool
two-way
stuff.
street.
Like, every
we
time.
got
Oh, look at
so
that.
much cool stuff.
That's cool.
We've been going crazy. This truck was built by Brad Geck. He's from Element RC. This actually
Gecko Trail.
Gecko Trails. This is his build. I've taken possession of it. He basically built this for us to showcase the flexible LEDs. He
Bingo.
probably can't see. It's got the flux
No.
capacitor in
I
there.
see it.
Yeah,
working
we
in
see
there,
it.
yeah.
The
We see it.
US7 is what's driving this. This
Okay.
FYI. These are not being powered at full brightness. These are just, basically the flexible LEDs. You can power them
Yes.
off of our special little power regulator thingies here,
Mhm.
or you can power them off any low power port. So this is an example of what they look like on the low power port, which is still
I
perfectly
think it
good.
looks more scale. Yeah, it doesn't have to scream. It
looks more
could be
scale.
more subtle. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Man.
So, super awesome build. We'll have this out at Proline. We're gonna bring this out. It's
James,
too cool.
That gets your head turning. When you start seeing bendable LED lighting, you're like, oh, what can I
Yeah.
do with this?
Well, actually, I was struggling with a Dodge Charger build, and I started to sketch out. If you look at the back of a Charger, it's sort of a giant U shape, a continuous LED filament, and I wanted to work on that for this drift build that I did, but I just didn't want to put that much time into it. Frankly, I started to fall down the rabbit hole. I'm like, I can't get lost on this specific body, but solutions like that certainly make it easier. And then also, while I have the board, I would like to formally invite you West Coast guys to come see us on the East Coast, because I know that, especially Mike and I, we went to many USTEs, and now that event has had its time and is no longer in existence, we're all looking for what's going to be the next UST. And I don't know that this is going to be it, but I know the next event I'm going to is going to be the Halloween Haul and Crawl at Cherokee Rock Village in Alabama. And so myself, Josh, RC Everyday, Jeremy, Joe, Exocage Joe, we're all going to be there. And so hopefully this is an event that continues to grow. But that's sort of the next big thing for us, because if I told my wife that we were going to go back to Proline by the Fire, she might, there's going to be hell to pay, because it was tough. It was hot. I mean, we were from South Florida, and that kind of heat was mind numbing. So I like the people. I don't think you're going to find me back at that event, because it was brutal otherwise. So Cherokee Rock Village is a beautiful place. It's high up on a ridge in Northeast Alabama. It's pretty central to the East Coast guys. So I think it'll continue to grow. And that's October 18th, 19th, and 20th. So it's a little shout out to the Georgia Rock Zombies and to Scott, who's handling putting that together.
Tell us what's so special about it. Like, what the uniqueness with the hall? You have to have this
so
trailer.
it has the word hall in it, and so that's one of the things that I like to do. Right, I like to go to Cars and Coffee and sort of show off the utility stuff that I do, and so the show and shine part of it is you have to have a trailer. You got to be hauling something, right? You could, of course, I think you could, I think you can put your car truck down, but unless you have a trailer attached, it's not going to be judged. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know all the rules. I'm not administering the event, but I am one of the sponsors, and I'm going to show you what I built for it real quick.
People get very creative in what they are hauling, and
this is a Halloween event. So this is one of the prizes that I'm going to be giving out, which is a haul and crawl specific enclosed V-nose utility trailer.
Very
right.
Cool.
And so myself and a lot of the other guys that make stuff will have some prizes out there that you'll get a chance to win when you enter the event. But what's really cool about Haul and Crawl is I did the Scale Nationals there a few years ago. And if you've never been, it's a beautiful spot. It's on a ridge line that's several hundred feet above the surrounding terrain. A lot of rock climbers go there. It's got great views, great camping, usually really good weather, and good barbecue also. There's a barbecue joint down the street. But the terrain itself, I mean, the Scale Nationals were there, I think, in 2022. And so it's this mix of like sandstone, limestone with these iron deposits that make these really interesting sort of abnormal features. And so the crawling there is second to none. And it's not super hot and dry like some other places. So if you guys ever find a reason to come out east, that's a really cool spot to go to, even if it wasn't an RC event. But the park itself, or the Cherokee Rock Village people, they really support rock crawling too. So they're not anti-RC, which you can sometimes unfortunately run into at different venues. So they love having everybody out there, and I think it's going to be a big party. So I'll be there Friday night, camping that Friday night and Saturday night, and there's events. There's going to be tug of wars. There's going to be trail rides. It's not a comp, but there's going to be some competitions going on as far as they have all kinds of crazy events like slaloms with the trailers. It'll be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it's the Halloween Haul and Crawl. I think this is the sixth year for the event.
Bravo. There's
Sounds
your little shout out for a great event and good people doing great things. When is Proline by the Fire? That's coming up like 2 weeks?
September 20th and 21st.
Oh, about 3. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's 3 weeks out.
3 weeks out.
3 weeks out.
The grind is on.
Oh,
yeah.
You have no idea.
Dan, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes right now. I can only imagine how much you were stressing out right now trying to get ready for this.
You never get everything done. I mean, you just don't. You have to pick your battles. So I'm 6 weeks out, and I just got this done today because I'm like, if I don't get it done, I'm not going to get it done, right? So I'm like trying to check off little things and go, okay, the trailers are done. Now let me work on some other products, make sure I have some inventory ready. Yes,
we have a number of things that we are working on, and with the intention to have at Proline by the Fire. And who knows, I can't promise, but the goal is to have the light whips they're ready. We did a pre-release. The ones that you see were the first kind of pre-release. We did that at Axial Fest, but there is additional tooling and such that we've done on it. We're going to actually get the page up there so we can start informing people about them. Get a little perhaps even maybe pre-orders or whatever, I think. We have a wide range of colors: white, green, blue, red, yellow, pink.
Pink.
They're all insanely bright at full
I mean,
brightness.
yeah, you can see my face, and then it lights up all around.
Yeah, it's actually
That
hard to
is
see.
bright.
It just looks like a glowing spot on the
It
screen.
does. It almost looks
Yeah.
like a spotlight, like a
Yeah.
light bar.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
barely see it.
It was
That
a
is cool.
long road getting to the point of making those. And one of the awesome things is the light is just so even around it. It glows like a stick, just like you imagine it would. They're really cool. It was so cool. This is the first product that actually went out and I applied for a patent on because I thought it was that cool. I think these things are going to be really popular. They're just, when you see them in person, they're just so neat. James, I got to get both you guys some of these so you can check them out.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that looks
Well-
like it'd be right at home on the optic. I mean, that's the kind of vehicle that I would
Exactly.
expect to see. on
Bingo.
Optic.
It screams
Bingo.
optic.
Yeah.
Optic. Speaking of optic,
Speaking of optic,
Uh-oh.
there you
Speaking
go.
of
Looks like
optic,
the
Another
right
thing.
width. Yeah.
we have been working on the optic kit. This is the grill for it. We're kind of at the final stages. We tooled up some stuff on this. Again, we're moving towards the custom, really custom vehicle specific. So it takes a little bit longer. That's the delay that you were talking about. I have been actually working on this. I actually had this core design done before Axial Fest, but we've made some additional refinements and improvements to the design. But it's super sleek. It slips right into the grill. The kit is going to be totally kick-ass. I don't know if we have any pictures handy.
I was looking for a gallery photo
Don't have
of
one.
Proline by the Fire. That shot of everyone going up the hill at nighttime. It sort of looks like a lit snake of all the
Yeah, that's
trucks
super cool.
weaving.
Yeah.
When you're standing down at the bottom and you look up, the trail of lighted cars going up. It's just a cool moment.
That was probably my
Um,
favorite part of Proline personally was doing the night trail ride
Night
up
stuff.
the mountain. Yeah. And seeing a giant tarantula when I sat on a rock, my wife pointed.
No,
"That's spider."
no.
Yeah, it was that big. Yeah.
Tarantulas,
Big hairy
rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
This is kind of what that kit's going to look like. If I can get it.
Hang on. Slow down. There you go. All right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I might even have
Not
that
a big-
photo.
Oh, and I see the whip on the back too. Nice.
Yeah, the whip on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Um,
have that photo in my phone.
Yeah, the kit will have rock lights. It's going to be really sick ass. Oh, and another good picture is this one. So it will have a taillight bar. That's another new
Yeah.
thing that
Perfect.
we're working on.
Scale.
That trailing light is huge in that style truck.
Mhm. Yes.
That trailing
Yeah,
light.
like the unlimited class. Yeah.
One of the questions that we have right
Will-
now that we are
Will that
actually-
be multicolored? A lot of those trailing lights end up like red in the center with options. Like, will it have any function at all? Kind of. Sometimes it will be like a hazard where it's flinking to one way to stay to the right or stay to the left, or even a hazard. Will that
like a-
trailing light be any function there at all?
The answer is yes. I don't know if we're going to have that on the optic, but we have been
The
talking
Gatekeeper
about
was
that.
huge. They did. I've seen a nice trailing light for that one, but that style, that trailing light's a big part of it.
Yeah,
But
That's
and to
definitely-
solve that optic in that grill, there is not a lot of room to get a. James, do you have the optic? There's
I
not a
don't have-
lot of room for a bucket up there.
My competitive drift side has kept me
Out of that
the colors
game?
a little bit this
Okay.
year. So
Fair enough.
I've been drifting a lot more than I should actually. Probably I've been drifting a lot lately.
Yeah, it was so tough. We had to do a custom. The circuit board in here is actually custom for the lights. That's
Oh,
the
look
only way
at.
I could fit it.
No, wait. Is that the optic headlight there? Is that it?
This,
Yeah.
This is the
Okay.
actual insert. Uh-huh.
And Dan, do you do the PCB design for that? Is that your background?
My background is actually mechanical, but
Okay.
but I've worked around electrical engineering so much that I can work with any electrical engineers. I work with a team. I have a variety of people,
Right.
and so we can do a lot of really, really cool stuff
Yeah.
collectively, like all of the things that you're seeing, like things like this, being able to actually just make things like this, et cetera, et
Right,
cetera.
right.
Everything is a lot of work, obviously, and it takes a lot of time to get it.
Mhm.
It's actually a lot harder to mass produce. I'm sure you can relate to than it is to just make a one-off. Oh my God, it is so much harder to mass produce. You did all those
Yes.
trade-offs with cost and how far do we take this or that? What do we trade off? The big question with the optic kit is what controller do we put in it? Do we wait? Do we put in the new control, the new power one, or do we just use those are the kind of final details we're trying to settle right now.
Right.
Dan is the only one, as a new truck gets released, I don't care who it is, Axial, Vanquish, Element, everybody drops a new truck. Dan is the only one I know that absolutely cringes. And it's like, no, not another one.
I know.
That to-do list just keeps growing.
It's hard to keep
Oh,
up
yeah.
sometimes. I mean, the industry is pretty relentless. I mean, that's good and
It-
bad, but yeah, what was
It's
hot
good and
2 years
bad.
ago is not happening today.
Right.
Yeah.
Another shift. I just last comment, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
One last comment is that's exactly why I'm trying to move towards things that are finished.
Carry over.
Accessories like light bars, like light pods. We'll have these at Proline, but we have new light pods. Like they're technically not new. We actually had them last year, but we just didn't put them on the website because we weren't sure if they were ready yet, but they are ready now. And we have like a series of light pods that we're gonna.
Mhm.
Oh, he's ready. Show him off. There it is.
He's ready.
Here's
we
one
go.
style, yeah, one style, but also an amber.
Oh, the amber looks nice. Yeah.
Nice.
We worked very hard to try to get that as scale look as possible, and that was not easy. That took a few iterations.
Yeah,
With the
It's
with
not,
the
it's not as easy as moving the decimal over as some
Yeah.
people might think.
Right.
all the way down to the rock lights and the inner fender. You got it all done up. Very nice.
Yeah.
Premier kit, Dragon controller in here.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is one of our latest awesome kits. So we
Love it.
really love this kit.
Very cool.
Nice.
Cycling through all the options.
yeah. So to go on a bit of what he was saying about picking and choosing, that's the hard part right now. Is with all these companies coming out with multiple. I mean, Elements come out with a bunch of stuff. Axial, all these companies are coming out with 7, 8 a year. We can't possibly be making 8 different light kits. So that's what's cool about on our website as well, is you can customize and build your own off of what you might want. Say your body, like this Tesla body right here. This is a Tesla Cybertruck. We don't make a kit for it, but we sell stuff on our website to be able to make a kit for it.
Is that a new
We
bright?
make-
Wait, hold that Cybertruck up. What body is that?
You mean
This is a one-off thing.
Is
You
that a
mean one
new?
of these?
I'm yanking.
You mean
on
one of
cords.
those?
Yeah. Are you guys
Yep.
holding the same thing?
Yeah, well, sort of. I make a kit that takes the Element Night Runner chassis and adapts the Hot Wheels body to it.
There
Is
you
it
go.
okay?
So you get the looks, but with something that actually works underneath.
And yeah, this is on a Axial
Pro.
10.2 platform.
Okay.
This is actually on the Interceptor. This is
Okay.
a Rock Pirates Interceptor full. This is my comp chassis, so I put this on a comp,
That's
so this can full
Wow.
comp. And
Comp line.
So good.
Yeah, I wanted to do the
But-
IFS just because it looks so cool on the
IFS looks
Cybertruck.
good on it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but to go with what I was getting at is our website allows for you to build your own on what you
Yep.
might want. If you're wanting rock lights, light bars. I mean, we have 6, 7 inch, we have 6-inch light bars, 5-inch, 2-inch. We have all these different. If you just go through our LED section, you can pick and build your own for anything you might want and build. You don't have to pick something that's already built. Like we have, let's say, the CJ7 kit. If you're not wanting everything that's on that kit, you can go and build your own. You can get the rock lights by themselves. You can get a halo kit for up front and integrate it into there if you're wanting to try to do that. You can do all these different things and don't have to stick with a builder's kit necessarily. You can go and build your own. So
letting people
that's a
build
really
their
cool
own.
part.
Yep.
Exactly. So right there, you can see all the
Hey
different
guys, I gotta go.
lights
I'll be
you have.
right back. Sorry.
Yep.
Mhm.
But
And
Halos,
that's-
you've got it all.
Yes.
Wow.
Waffles. There's so many different things and different mounts and that you can do. So you don't necessarily have to wait for a kit to come out for the body you have. Like
Go in
the
and
VRD.
yep.
Yeah, we don't have anything for the VRD right now, but you can put a light bar on there if you want to keep the stock body. So I try to really emphasize that when I'm out talking with people. They ask, "Oh, when are you going to have the light kit for, let's say, just the VRD?
Yep.
Are you going to have a light kit for the VRD?" Well, we don't have one yet, but you can build your own. That's what's so cool about our customized section. If you go under shop and then customize, you're able to go and make your own full build.
And that's exactly what this RC hobby is all about. We are all about customizing and tinkering and working within those boundaries of just kind of build your own. What could I use? There's multiple ways to attack the same problem, and you might see, oh, I'm going to try this set. I'm going to use the TRX4 and our Fender Rocklight for somewhere else. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
TRX4. I get it.
Exactly.
I like that.
Exactly. That's
Oh, yeah.
precisely what we want to promote. You know, I think that's a synergy that Taylor and I both have, is we really want to promote, you know, like the industry, but from really try to support the creativity, support people to do the creative things, because that's
They're
the fun.
using stuff in ways you never thought of. Like
Right.
they're bringing
Oh, yeah.
you guys new ideas. Like, holy crap, we made it for this reason. Here you
Exactly.
Yeah.
thinking outside the box. You guys get tunnel vision. We all do. We see the same thing
Oh,
day
yeah.
after day. It takes somebody to come in from the outside and be like, no, try it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, a big thing is Haley, RC girl, just went and did a full F1 build. She did the rear wing, used
Yep.
our flex LEDs in that, as well as in the new Element Night Runner. Or not the Night Runner, she used it in
Trail Runner, I think.
the Trail Runner.
Trail
So she
Runner.
used that, and
Yep.
she made a full light rear light bar out of the red for this. There's endless possibilities with all of these. You take
Hold
5
that up
LEDs
there.
and you can do 100.
Hold what you got there in your hand, Taylor. Let me see that. So is that cuttable? Can you cut that to length or
No.
no? Okay, so
No, these come one size. I put
one
most of the
size.
stuff away.
Okay.
These come technically they come 2 sizes. We have on the website.
Yes. Later we'll have a longer size too.
Yes.
The ones in the
But-
Cybertruck are really long. They're like a foot long.
When you said Nightwalker or like that Night Runner size, like some of those headlights in a Night Runner would be awesome to be able to make that bend and get some of that detail.
You can totally do that.
Exactly. And
Totally.
with this, yeah, you can see I'm
Make
bending
that
it.
bend. Bingo.
Yeah, it's- and you can make it. And with 3D printers nowadays, you can get a $200 3D printer on Amazon, and you can
Yep.
print endless things. You can make
Buckets
this into
for
any
days.
direction, and that's what's cool about this. It comes in so many different colors. We have 9 different colors in this to be able to
Nice.
switch it up and do anything you're wanting to, whether it be a custom headlight integrated inside. I mean, you saw the DeLorean with that, how that's
Yep.
cut all the way up and through is with
Yep.
these. You can do
With that.
the
Okay.
possibilities are endless with this.
Yeah, they're so cool.
I love
And
it.
it basically what we've done is we've gone through and taken those LEDs.
Oh, wait. I
Another-
kicked him off.
Oh, okay, he's back. He's back.
There he is.
Sorry
Right here.
about that. It was my dad's 80th birthday, so I wanted to answer the phone. I left him a
Oh.
voicemail today, so that was a big one. So I had to jump off, but I'm back.
Bravo. Well, happy
Happy
birthday. Happy birthday to
Yeah,
James's
it's a big
dad.
one. 80 years old. That's a big one.
Wow, that is a big one.
It's
Very
it's an
cool.
accomplishment. But yeah, one of the cool things about these LEDs is you can power them off of low power ports, meaning we could use these as brake lights. You can make a your charger that you were looking at, James. You could actually make that a functioning brake light where it's dim and bright. It'll work you can plug it directly into the UF7 as a brake light, and it'll work as a brake light. And if you want the full brightness, then you have to get one of our little power modules, which adjusts the power specifically to them. Yeah, that guy right there.
Did I miss? Do those have a temperature that they run at, or are they fairly efficient? I'm grabbing a drink, by the way. I got hot in my office there.
All good.
Get a good one.
Oh, I'm going to get a good one. This is what I live on right here. Many projects have been fueled by the dew.
By the do. Do the do.
Yeah.
Actually, I completely forgot what I was going to say. You were
So the temperature, how efficient are those
Yes.
lights, and do they get hot?
They get warm. They do draw about 1/4 of an amp each.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Well, it is
So-
important, as Taylor mentioned, some of the 3D printed parts. You don't want to be getting a light that's putting out too much heat that's going to be melting something.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so you're showing us at 2 different voltage here. This is
Yes.
restricting and
So is that
full.
3 and 5?
Yeah.
3
So
and-
granted, right now my camera is gonna blur it out. You can't see this very
Sure.
well, but this one I can look at and it doesn't hurt my eyes. This one it's
Yeah,
can see on my
you can
face
see
the
it on your
difference.
face. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's gonna show you the camera's gonna blur
The
it out a little
difference.
bit, but
Yep.
yeah, you can use these for all different scenarios. Like Dan was saying, this can now in our red one. I have a red one. You can
Yep.
make it into a light, and if going off of this Dragon too, and off, or actually the UF7, you can go off the UF7 and make it so it's a brake light, like you were saying.
It could flash.
variations.
It could
But
flicker.
there's a whole bunch of different.
can
There's
dim
a
it.
whole bunch of different things you can do with these. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, even in the drift side, you're making the tailpipe look like it's backfiring. Now, I'm sure you're not using. I'm not going off track here. I don't want to be talking about a different light, but the functionality and software allows you to get creative and do different things.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you can think of these flexible LEDs as like a regular 3mm or 5mm. They're treated
Full.
exactly
Okay.
the same way.
Okay.
Mhm.
The only difference is to get their full brightness, they do need to be powered off of a specific, power supply. That's what this is. And we have 2 versions of this. We have one version of it that exactly, he's got them there.
Oh, he's
One
got 'em.
version you can power off of one of our controllers. It has like a little black connector on it. Yeah, that one. And then the other one you can plug into a battery directly. We have adapters for it.
Yep.
It comes with an adapter, so you can power it off your servo, like any open channel on your. So you don't have to have our controller per se if you want to add flexible LEDs to this. That's actually another really good point. Things like the UF7, if you have your own, say, Proline light bar or whatever,
Yep.
you can power it off of the UF7 pigtail. It's the pigtail on the UF7 really is just passing the whatever power there is on the receiver through out to the pigtail. So if you have anything that powers off of your receiver normally, you can connect it to the UF7, and then you can have like a level of on-off control depending on what mode you're in. Yeah.
We were we were running a Power Shift RC light version with your UF7. You can marry multiple brands and still be powered from your controller.
Yes, exactly. Right. Another thing I never talk about, but I should, because that's actually important.
No, it was important, and you were highlighting it at one point. There was clearly not a matter of or, it was a matter of and. Instead of having to choose, we could cross promote or joint vendor collaboration projects were happening because you could use multiple brands through the same pipeline, and it was fantastic.
Exactly. And Taylor had something cool in his hands too. Another new thing that we're just.
He's got all the goodies. Look at
He
that.
does. We couldn't have done this without him. We couldn't have done it without him.
I don't know what I would do.
So it's
Okay.
hard to
It's
see
hard
what
to
that
see.
is. Oh, no, I see.
Yep.
That's the Power Wagon. I see it's a Power Wagon
Oh,
headlight.
good call, James.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. 1 point for James.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
That looks pretty mean, that red on red.
It
Yeah.
does.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh,
So cool.
with the,
Yep.
He did
the
a
My
great
Trick
job
RC
on that.
logo right on the door panel. My man is representing. Holy crap.
Yep. And then we have it in. So this is the Power Wagon. So it has the
Yeah.
flat front face.
Yep.
So we have it in Power Wagon, and then we have it in the Comp Wagon as well. It's just a subtle difference.
Yep.
But the Comp Wagon, as many would know, has the more of a triangular cut in the front
Okay.
versus the flat front on this one. But
Yeah.
we do make it for both of them right now. This is what it would come standard. Come standard with this bright. You can see it's illuminating on my face very brightly. This is what it comes with right here. And this is the simple setup. I mean, this is what
Yep.
we're going for
Yeah.
the Pro line, is to have
Yeah.
a super, just plug and play. Look, that's all that's going to be under your body right there.
Yeah.
So that's an important note that you're making there. So if I come to you at Proline by the Fire with my truck and I have no lights on it, but I buy them
Mhm.
from you, will you all help me get it up and running in a hurry? Will you help me install
They're not going to tell
them?
you no, Mike. They're not going to tell you no.
Well, I want you to help me install them.
Just come out and say it. There you go.
Yes. Yes. Another great question. Great question. The answer is
And
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
how much is it going to hurt me?
Yeah. So
That
we,
goes for everybody, yeah.
yeah, we have done that the last two big events. So Axial Fest last year, well, actually 3 times so far. This will be the 4th.
Yep.
So Axial Fest Pro Line last year also. We took our booth, and instead we have so many cool vehicles that originally I had 2 canopies just to show off all the cool vehicles. Now we're going to have to stack them on top of each other because we took one canopy and we've dedicated it to a tech install help
Area. Wow.
install area. So we can help people install their stuff if they want to come and sit down and hang out. It's a party. We actually have a lot of fun. And then in some cases we will actually install for people and they pay us, we charge a small amount or whatever I can get my team to accept. That's how typically we do it.
Donations are accepted. I get it.
He looks like the kind of guy that would work for RC parts. Like if you showed up with some nice wheels, he might just work for
He'll
that.
keep going.
Yeah.
I've worked for much less. Those little cold cans. I've worked for high fives.
It's it.
Attaboy. I love it.
Yes. One last thing I wanted to show you because I know it's just too cool. I cannot not show it. This
Ooh,
is
look at that.
another example of the. I got a loose
These
connection
flex
here.
lights. Yep.
It's gonna blow it out.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
Okay.
it catches a little bit. Yeah, I see an hourglass shape there.
Yeah, it's this is actually SEX6, but yeah, we
And
can,
taillights for the SCX6. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely need to
JL.
power this off of a regular controller.
A little
So-
easier to work on that scale. There's more room there.
Taylor,
Yes.
Taylor or Dan, I want you both to give us a little tip here. I'm going to put you on the spot. But for a person that is at a night run and you want to take a photo of your truck at nighttime, one of the biggest hurdles that I hit is some of the glare and kickback of the light shining at me. And I cannot take a super sick, dope ass scale photo of my truck at night. But your gallery on your website is littered with super sick nighttime photos. So what the hell is the trick to getting a photo? What is the secret of taking a nighttime photo?
That's our whole entire secret sauce.
I
That's the
can
trick.
see
That's
that.
the trick in-
Bro,
that's
the
trick in
gallery,
RC.
yeah, that is the trick.
This is the trick. Taylor's the man. Taylor is the best person to answer this.
Do you have a tip? Is there an easy way that a newbie could do this?
Well,
Or
I mean,
do
with
I
a
have to
newbie, very simple. I mean, a lot of people have awesome phones now. I mean, this is the iPhone 15. Nothing spectacular about it. A lot
Okay.
of the shots, I'd say most of the shots that are on Instagram are off this right here. The
Okay.
product pictures, that comes off of my nice DSLR camera. I have a nice Nikon. But out on the trail, and any picture that you might see on our Facebook, Instagram page, our story, or anything like that comes from this phone right here. The biggest thing that you can do that is a huge tip that not a lot of people know. If you open up your camera, you can see me. If you open up your camera, you'll be able to click on it. You'll see a little box. Drag down next to that box, and that's going to close. That's going to actually make your ISO. And it basically, for people that aren't going to understand, it brings the light down. It dims everything, which makes it so you don't have that blown out light that you'll see where you have the little LED strips on the edge of the screen, or it looks so bright you can't see the front grill or anything like that. If you do just that simple trick on an iPhone, that'll get you your nighttime shots without editing. I mean, almost every single one of our pictures has no editing done to it, no anything done like that to spice it up, make it look better. It's simply just that trick.
I think Mike's about to run outside. He's about to run outside right now and try it.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so like again, people that might not have known or might not have seen that, I'll get closer. If you go on and you click, like let's click that back shadow right there. I'll
Put them on the
drag
big
down.
screen, Mike. Mike, put them on the big screen so they can see.
All right, hang on. I'm coming. Boom.
Let me bring my laptop closer.
Yeah. We gotta do it right. Make us
We're
so
gonna do
people
it.
can see.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Okay.
Nice.
All right, so here's the iPhone, just normal camera. I just bring it open, and if I click right here, actually let's click where it's dark. I click right there. I'm gonna drag down, and you're gonna it's hard doing this backwards.
Backwards
I'm gonna
on
drag.
two
See how
screens. There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can see, now you can see my light back there right now. That's that right there. You can now. That's a picture right there.
Yeah, it's not blown out.
Bingo.
Beautiful.
It's not blown out. So
It's
that
beautiful.
trick alone on any phone, that's a hidden secret not a lot of people know. That brings your ISO to the perfect, and you can customize it. You can do it with, I mean, I have giant LEDs right behind me right now. I can do it with those and make it look like they're basically off with how much you can just adjust it with that. There's no editing, nothing like that. No special editing software. It's simply just a phone. Now, if you're going to do it on a DSLR, there's so many different aspects that come in.
Shutter speed.
That one, shutter speed with that too. Make sure you have a tripod. A tripod is your best friend. Up there, I have like 5 different tripods. I have 2 tripods behind me holding up one light. I have another one holding up my phone. I mean, even a simple little stand like this. I use this all the time. Having your phone set still to capture the light, it helps it not blur, and you'll get crisp, pristine pictures, and I guarantee that.
There you go. Guaranteed Instagram.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
No, another comment, and this is just an extra thing that you can do that we have used in the past. I have, and it is also pretty cool. Get a little light like this guy right here. We've actually been contemplating selling these, doing a custom mount. Yeah, like that. Where
so sort of like a selfie light.
This is one I use, by the way, for the same purpose.
Right.
To get the light to come in from another angle. Yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing with these ones, these are basically photographic ones. They have like adjustability. You can do like a warm light, or you can do like different
color temperatures. Yeah.
Yeah. You can even do like full color stuff. So you can get
You
like
should 100% put those on your website. They would help tremendously. And then you could have a contest.
I always make a joke that
best
there's
nighttime photo.
Yeah, that a lot of tiny truckers, they're really photographers with a side hobby, because
bingo.
It's that setting up the shot is more important than driving the truck. Yeah.
Seriously, I have geeked out so much over the photo and the video. I failed you all today with a late. It took me forever to get the final post for the show up there because I spent about 4 hours doing a video edit trying to narrow down 60 minutes of video content into a 1-minute reel. It took me like 4 hours to get this thing cut down.
Yep.
I love the forced perspective aspect of, tricking people. I think some of my favorite photos on my own feed are where I see comments and people are arguing back and forth, like,
Real
"That's a
or
waste of
not?"
money." Yeah, well, not even. Some guy will say, "I can't believe you drove that trailer into a lake," or this and that. You ruined the axles, and I go, in my head I'm thinking it's an RC, but they don't know that. So I love
Yeah.
the forced perspective, and I love just sitting back and watching people argue, and they don't know that I probably even look at those comments, but it makes me chuckle every time. I've actually had a few returns on some of my products, even though I'll put, literally a 1/10 scale is the first word of a lot of my products. I'll put the dimensions, I'll put the shipping weight, and people will still buy stuff and then return and go, "I got ripped off. This is a toy," and I was like, were you expecting, a bicycle rack for $30 or a motorcycle lift for $30? I mean, those are 1/10 the price. It is a 1/10 scale. So I always win, but it's one of those things I kind of feel bad, but I kind of want to laugh at the same time. But yeah, I love messing with people with forced perspective and great photography.
It's so true. And like sometimes when I'm at the shop where all the buildings are and stuff, I have the shop and stuff always set up. It's really fun to go in there just once in a while and just set stuff up and just shoot it, because it's so ridiculous. It's it's so cool to just take pictures that I don't even share them with anybody. It's just they're just really neat. There's one other one I'll show you. The Star Wars guys back here. This is just something when I was messing with the light whips, I had to go out and buy these action figures. Let me see if I can get that a little bit better. And it's the shot.
It's the shot. Look at that. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all about the shot.
Yeah, that's on these. Yeah. These right here.
My buddy Dustin of a 110 Rod Shop, he's really good at that too.
Yes.
He does a lot of those forced perspective shots, and he loves building all the scale stuff. Like, he has a full Ford dealership facade. He's got gas stations, and some of his photos look fantastic, especially because he's been messing with a little bit of the Red Cat Lowrider stuff lately. So it's really given him another avenue to trick people as far as the scale photos go.
Yeah, so fun.
Yeah.
And not to mention the world of AI today. AI will help everything.
Yep.
Dang. That's pretty legit.
Right? It's on my coffee table in my dining room. It's like ridiculous.
That's awesome.
AI is going to ruin us.
AI is going to ruin us. I'm telling you.
I was telling my wife that in 10 years, you're not going to be able to tell them, photographic evidence, video evidence won't exist. It will all be, it could all be a forgery or fabrication. It's going to throw the justice system into a loop.
100% right.
It's going to be insane.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Dino Don just got here. Don from Dino RC. Yeah, if you haven't met this cat, this guy's a ball of freaking energy. He's something else. What a good guy. Hey, what do you think? Let's put Dan in the hot seat for a hot second here. We can't go too far without doing a little TNT. This is a segment of the show where we call this and that. It is official. Scale Audio Solutions has provided us the Jeopardy background music for now. James is in charge of the score clock and our timer. So he will set the timer for 1 minute, which I will completely disregard. And
we're working with 1 million points to start with.
Yes, and we can deduct.
Points. Yeah,
we can deduct
from there.
We'll work backwards from that. We take this very, very seriously. I will modify it a little bit for Dan, since he is older. We need to take it easier. Make sure the hearing aids are turned up, and we'll keep them.
If I need it.
Yes, you can call a friend. Like I explained to you, we don't need explanations. Like our good friend Haley, when RC Girl played along, it took about 30 minutes to get through this because I proceeded to get an explanation for every answer she wanted to give us. So we do not need an answer or an explanation. We're going to keep this rapid fire. Taylor, I would pay attention because they will be pretty much the same questions when we come to you. in a couple weeks to talk about the
Start
word
taking
that
notes
we're
now.
and then I will
about the
Right.
words we will not say tonight. The
Right,
C
and I'm
and
gonna act
T.
as moderator, and if I don't like any of your answers, I'm gonna say that's the wrong answer. All right,
You
so
call it. You're right.
yeah, go ahead, go
When
ahead,
we-
Mike.
when
Our
we
right
get
and
to-
wrong answers.
When we get to Mountain Dew or Pepsi, you know what James is looking for.
Don't even
okay.
insult me like that. There is no choice.
So here we go, Dan. Do you prefer to call or text?
Text.
Oh, he's gonna show his age. Oh, there you go.
All right.
Okay, good.
Ooh,
Yep.
that was good. That was good.
I
Right
was hungry when I made these questions, so bear with me. Almond Joy or Mounds Bar?
answer. Almond Joy.
F Sorka or Yeah Sorka?
Dang.
I'd say yes.
Oh, he had to ponder it though. There was
I
a few
was-
seconds that went by.
I'm pissed on that. Like, just let them have it.
You gotta,
They're in a
gotta
tough
weigh all
spot. They're in a
options.
tough spot. Yeah, I feel for those guys. They're in a tough spot.
Go to a bar or go to church?
That's definitely a bar, I'm afraid. It used to be church. It's definitely a bar now.
All right. Rattle can or airbrush?
Airbrush.
Are you an Autobot or a Decepticon?
Oh, I guess I'm an Autobot. I hope I am.
Would you prefer Christmas or Halloween?
I'd say Halloween. We got to do some cool stuff for Halloween. We're going to have to come up with some creative, fun stuff for Halloween. But yes,
I'm all in.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, real quick side note: get in on these LMT mini monster trucks, dude.
Cute one.
On the son of a digger, you could light the eyes up on the sides. Like, I'm just saying, there's some lighting options on these
Yes.
things.
yes. We've actually done some stuff for the 10th scale ones.
Yes,
Halos and stuff.
scale down.
Cool
Yes,
stuff. Yeah,
cool stuff.
those flexible
Um,
LEDs are the answer.
Pizza or Chinese food?
Depends on the day. Probably pizza, but some days
Pizza?
of the day it would be Chinese food for sure.
All right, fair enough. Do you play PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Okay.
No.
Xbox.
Actually, I don't even play anymore. I don't play anymore.
In a casino, would we find you at a slot machine or
Hell
at
no.
the blackjack table?
Not even a question.
What was it? Blackjack?
Blackjack.
All right.
For sure.
Medical
Wasted many
use. Pay attention here. Medical use or recreational?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mike, tell me when I was supposed to start the timer. Was I
About
supposed to do that
5
already?
minutes ago.
Got it.
Start it now. We'll give them a little leeway. We
Perfect.
pay very
Yeah.
close attention to
Go.
that timer.
All right.
Um,
15 seconds remaining.
With Labor Day weekend on the horizon, are you a burger or a hot dog kind of guy?
Burgers.
Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup. But
Jeep or truck?
both. Ooh, that's a tough one. I love both. I guess I'm a truck guy because I've always had a truck and I haven't had a Jeep, but I do love Jeeps.
Jack them up or slam them down?
Yes.
Oh,
Both.
There, that's the answer.
oh, that's
Yes.
so hard.
Both.
Yeah, both.
Can I choose both?
We can
You can.
choose both.
Let's
Win the
vote.
lottery, or meet your soulmate.
Oof.
Soulmate.
Hunting.
We'll make by.
Would you rather go hunting or fishing?
Hunting.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Sunrise or sunset?
Both.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
MySpace.
Samsung.
I know that this is a
Friendster.
judgment, so I know that I have.
We're
some
dating
things
them. We're dating them.
Yeah.
Would you Samsung or iPhone?
iPhone.
College football or NFL?
That's another interesting one. I guess NFL. That's what I really
All
want
right.
to have with NFL, but I know college is good.
Would you rather meet yourself 10 years in the future or 10 years in the past?
Definitely in the future. I can't wait to see what the future brings because
All right.
holy cow, the shit that's happened so far.
The most important question that you're going to get. This is either going to end the show on the spot or we're going to keep going. UFO or Bigfoot?
Definitely UFO.
Bingo.
Can I also interject that I went to the Bigfoot Museum here in Georgia? It's pretty wild.
Didn't
That
know they
sounds
had
fun.
that.
Yeah, it was fun. We made a day of it. It's near Ellijay, Georgia, but there's a Bigfoot expedition, and so Josh
Really?
Gates has some stuff in there, and yeah,
Okay.
it's funny
Nice.
watching all the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And did they mention UFOs at all anywhere in there? Because there are some theories that tie it together. There is
tie
a
it
link.
together.
There's
I
a
don't know
link.
if I saw that. I got distracted by the pinball museum that's adjacent to that property and spent a lot of time over there.
Okay.
I've heard that with machines are cool as hell.
Yeah, very cool. Like from the 30s and 40s, they have a ton of them. So
Yeah.
I spent some time in there.
They have one out here in Southern California in Banning. They have a pinball museum. Yep, I've been there a
Nice.
handful of times.
All right. Air guitar or air drums?
Drums, I guess. Drums. Definitely.
That's a question.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. But
That's-
I definitely
yeah.
drums. I'm just not.
BMX?
I'm not. What's that?
BMX or skateboard? I know you.
Hmm.
I should have reworded this one for you.
Skateboard.
Wheelchairs or crutches?
Yeah.
Dang.
All right. Supercross or MotoGP? You've got the Supercross bike there behind you. You
Yeah,
got that.
I'm gonna say Supercross.
All
You know,
right,
it's
all
actually
right.
called Super Motocross now, too, by the way. I think.
Thank you for the
according to
correction.
NBC. Yes.
Your check is in the mail.
Got it.
There's a reason you're here. All right.
Keep you guys on the
um,
straight and narrow.
Would you Crocs or flip flops?
Oh God, is that a real question?
I've
It's a
worn
real
both
question.
today. I've worn both of them
What?
today.
One on
No
each?
joke.
Both those
Okay.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both today.
Okay.
It's funny where that story of Crocs came from. It was hilarious. You guys all know it, right?
Yeah.
No.
From the movie?
Yeah, from the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally
Idiocracy.
a prop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Now,
Great
they're
movie.
Deadpool's masturbating shoes. Is that what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
I think I better
Uh,
pick flip flops. I'm definitely done with the flip flops.
Let's see. Are you
By the
a
way,
half
the
empty?
time-
Time's running up. Half empty or half
timer
full
was
kind of guy?
4 minutes.
Definitely half full.
Half full. Okay. O.J. Simpson, guilty or not?
He did it.
Ooh.
Let me think about that.
You think harder when you're in line behind him at Publix, which has happened to me, by the way. He's a big dude.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, intimidating, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy. So
Yes.
behind the camera, I'd say yes, but in person, like,
In
maybe.
person,
maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
The keyboard warrior and yeah, saying something different. All right.
Yeah.
He did lose the civil lawsuit, so
There you go. Monster trucks or NASCAR?
I'll say probably NASCAR. I've been in. I've not actually been to a monster truck event, unfortunately, but I have been to NASCAR. That's for sure.
And
Okay.
I want to interject again. I live in the birthplace of NASCAR, Dawsonville, Georgia.
Wow.
So, there's a racing hall of fame about 10 minutes from my house. With a bunch of
Nice.
NASCAR memorabilia. Yeah.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Vanilla or chocolate?
Actually, I hate to say vanilla, but I'm afraid I like vanilla.
All right.
Wow.
That's nothing
I
wrong
like
with that.
chocolate too. They're both good, but if we're talking ice cream, it's definitely vanilla. If it's
All right.
cake, it's definitely chocolate.
Okay, I can see
Okay, you can be fair with that. X Games or Olympics?
Olympics.
Pez or Nerds?
that. Nerds.
Oh, I guess Pez.
Okay.
Pez to me somehow identifies really closely with RC stuff because the little doll heads and stuff and the
Oh, I love it.
It's full
Fair
on.
enough.
Correlation right
I-
there.
No, I've seen some
Alright.
Pez heads land up on some scale drivers. There's no question. Are you going to get up and dance or sit this one out?
Pardon me.
Get up at a wedding. Are you going to be the guy
Oh.
getting up and dancing, or are you sitting it out? Are you the wallflower?
You know what? I tell you what, I'm a changed man. I used to be the guy that would not get up. I am now
Okay.
the guy who will get up.
Wow, my
Good
man
one.
has seen the light. He's turned a
I-
leaf.
I
All
have
right.
turned a leaf.
You survived TNT. A quick round of a high five. What I
He
need
got
from you.
62 points. I was keeping
This is
track.
the bonus round.
Out of
Get in
100?
touch. Out of 100. Bonus
Holy shit.
round. I need you. Imagine yourself on a desert island for the rest of your life. You get to choose one RC car for the rest of your life. Which one would you take?
Wow.
Is there a drift track there?
On the yes, we'll allow it. It's a desert island. You can build whatever you want. Slash is our number one answer in case you're looking.
Yeah.
I would not pick a Slash.
Good
I
for
would
you.
definitely pick something that is more scale. I really like the
Okay.
scale stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Scale
That'll
stuff
work.
would entertain me longer
I
than the
went-
rest of
Okay, wait. That answer is not acceptable. We need
That,
more
oh,
specific.
ding,
Yeah,
bing,
yeah.
bing,
We're gonna
bing,
need
bing,
more
bing. We
specific.
need something more
it.
specific.
More specific.
And the
Okay.
Call
form
the
of a
brand.
question.
Call the
You know what?
brand.
If I was to pick one, this is gonna be really random, but I would. First thing that comes to my mind is probably like a TF2.
Wow, he's going Leaf. Okay.
Yeah, yes, I really like the. I like that classic. You know, like the scale. I really love the
TF TF Poo it
All right.
is. All right,
All
TF
right,
Poo it is.
We'll take
All right.
that answer.
One movie for the rest of your life. Over and
Oh,
over.
God.
You're going to have to watch it over and over.
I think I would probably watch Ted. Is Ted the?
Oh, hey, acceptable.
That
I'm
movie
a,
is
I'm
funny
a,
as hell.
I'm a Black
The
Hawk
two-
block out,
the two-
block,
The
Black
two
Hawk down
correct
guy.
answers were Ted or Die Hard, so we'll let you
Bing.
take that one.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
One song / band. What is your band or song that you can live with for the rest of your life?
Oh God.
NSYNC, bye bye bye.
Band,
Barbie
a
Girl,
song,
so-
or
A band. Yep, you can pick a band or a song. We're
go
giving.
band.
We're
I would probably. This is going to sound also kind of random, and it's going to date me, but I really like Soundgarden.
wow. Okay, not nearly dated enough. I mean, I was
saw
way
them
back in. I
live.
was way back in the
Yeah.
Elvis 50s era. So
I wouldn't. I would never go that far. There's a lot.
I
of
was
good
not
70s
grunger with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
them live. It was a good
One
show.
food for the rest of your life. Are you a grilled cheese or what are you eating? Pizza guy? What do you got? One
Good
food.
God. Hmm.
What can sustain you? One last
Turkey
chance.
sandwich is the only answer I'll accept. Everything else will get a zero.
A turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
The turkey sandwich is actually not a bad choice.
It's
because
versatile.
Even though
Dang.
it's boring,
We'll take it.
Yeah.
I think we should pick that. Yeah, because
It could be
One-
versatile. Yeah.
Last question.
He's going for
One
points. Objection.
bonus round. Last question. One person, dead or alive, you will be stuck with on this desert island. One person, dead or alive. Famous, don't matter.
I'm gonna text your wife.
Yeah,
Say
this
right
is
now.
your
I'm gonna
Hallmark
do-
card. Bro, this is your romantic Hallmark card right
There's
here.
only two
Yeah.
correct answers: your wife or Chuck Norris. Everything else is just crazy.
I have. Well, I do have an alternate. It's not really. I
Alf?
think I'm gonna,
Oh,
no, I think I'm gonna go with. This is gonna sound really weird, but I'm
Oh,
gonna go with
boy.
Elon Musk because we're gonna figure out how
Okay.
to get off that
You
island.
get off the
Hey,
island.
well-
Hey, all right.
that is an
Got it.
acceptable answer. All right, let me
Yes.
shut off the
Wow.
Jeopardy music. And he survived a game of TNT, a little this and that. And Taylor, I will rework these
So
questions.
we've
before we come.
adjusted the points relative
Adjusted
to
point
the bonus
value?
round, and he
Yep.
also remains at 62 points.
Oh shit! That's not good. Man, I made some
James-
wrong calls there. I
And
keep forgetting
James
them.
will send out all the prizes at the end of the year. So
Correct.
I'll be counting on. I'll be waiting for those.
you'll be waiting. All right, perfect.
Yeah, I wrote down all of those questions, by the way, so I'm gonna get a perfect 100.
We're going to rework them.
Get back
We're
on.
not we are not letting you cheat. We are going to rework
Right.
them. They are going to be in all different orders. We will throw you a curveball.
The
Use
biggest
different
one
words.
of everything you said, the RC car on the island. you
What
can't
was it?
do an RC car. You have to do a boat because you can tie fishing string on it. You can catch fish on
Okay.
it.
Good call.
Oh,
And
he's
there you
going
go.
practical.
Come on, man.
I like it.
I'm
I
going
like
to
it.
live.
Thinking.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I
Dan will
mean,
live about a week and a half.
you
And
can
everybody else
fish
will-
with a drone. Yeah, I've seen people fish with a drone, and
Yeah,
It's true.
you
Yeah.
can explore. You can knock
All
down
right.
That's true.
coconuts.
a drone
I
would have
don't
been
know.
the best choice probably.
But it was RC car. That was the question, and the
Right.
man picked TF Poo. We will let that go.
I respect it.
The man is a leaf sprung kind of scale guy. I like
All right,
it.
so-
When you
so I
say
have a
Lexan
question.
or hard body, he is a hard body
Hard body.
scale fanatic. I love it.
So I have a question
Go
for
ahead,
you,
James.
Dan.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Dan, and hopefully this will inspire somebody in the audience. But one of the things that I struggled with, and maybe you did as well in the beginning, is how do you find the inspiration and the drive to leave your everyday job and start your own business? Like, what would you what would be your advice to somebody who's contemplating starting their own business and working for themselves?
Run.
Man, that is an interesting question. Let's see. I don't know if I got to answer that and not take too long.
Right. Some inspirational words.
Inspirational words. Most people I try to talk out of trying to do.
that might be the most sound advice.
Double
actually.
the
Yes.
workload for less
Right.
money.
Right. More hours.
Stay off social media.
Right.
Stress.
I think, if you're going to go down that, the thing that's hard, I think, for people to accept, there's two parts of it. One, so when part of the reason I started this business, honestly and weirdly, was it was a challenge to myself because I wasn't actually sure I could do it. I wasn't sure that I could.
Okay.
When you run a business, you have to be able to manage your finances, and you have to be able to manage your cash flow,
Your time, your taxes,
Websites
your space,
and
taxes, your website, writing manuals,
Employees that are wild.
and crazy
Yeah.
employees, and you go up there and you don't know what they're going to do next. There's so many challenges. I feel like I didn't need to get an MBA because I have an
Trial by
MBA of
fire.
Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
But I think the people, you have to have a passion. Everybody starts, wants to do a business because they're passionate and they want to get away from their boss. They, like myself, I wanted to be recognized for what I do. And that's one of the cool things. That's one of the great things is whatever you do, people get it in their hands. It's a form of communicating. You've extended yourself to the people, and when people respond, it's so awesome. But there's so much more to a business than just that fun part of it. There's so many trade-offs, and everybody's going to question all the trade-offs that you make when you're designing it. People will question those eventually down the line. And one of the tests is, what answers do you have for them, and are they the right answers? Are they the answers that are going to get the best outcome for everybody? But that's a little bit off track. You have to be passionate. You have to be a little bit crazy. I am crazy. Taylor knows that all I do is work. Like when I finish this call, I'll probably eat dinner and continue working. Yep. The work is always here when you're on your own.
Right.
So if you're going to make that move, obviously you have to be completely committed. You
committed's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, you have to have tenacity through the good times and the bad times. And there is a point at which you have to be able to cut the strings if it's not working. Mm-hmm. But if you have to stick with it, things take time.
Right.
They just don't happen right away. Even you have the coolest idea. That was one of the hardest things for me, honestly. Those first 3 years, I really, I really believed in the UF7, the Dragon controller, all of the things that I had done. When I first put them out there, the response isn't what I imagined it to be, what I expected it to be. And it just took a long enough time of sticking with it and not giving up to where eventually it filtered out to where I got enough traction and bringing on distributors.
Word of mouth and RC Car Action magazine. It starts to grab a hold, but you
Yeah.
built a business at face value that looked, I would have never suspected that it was a mom and pop run business. The way you promoted and marketed the brand, I
Mhm.
would have thought it was a China-based manufacturing company, and I was taken back. I was like, wow,
Thank
you
you.
did
Yeah,
good
yeah.
work.
Mm.
I worked for a lot of smaller, medium and small companies over the years, my whole career. And that was actually really educational to see. I learned a lot there, from other, working with other people in other departments. I learned a little bit about marketing. I learned a little bit about finance. I learned a little bit about everything. And so when I did this, I really tried to take the time to figure out each part of business to try to be reasonably competent at it. You're not going to be good at everything, but
Right.
just to be reasonably competent at everything, and then get people like Taylor who are awesome at their segment. That's the next step. The next step that I have, that my Trick RC has, is really crossing the boundary to where I bring in more people, which we're doing little by little, to kind of build out the team. But yeah, boy, it is hard when you're starting a business.
It's so tough. Yeah. Yeah. Super tough. And I'm not at the point where I can hire somebody. So I'm kind of maybe where you were a few years ago. But yeah, I think
Mhm.
stick to itiveness is part of it. If there is a light at the end of the tunnel, you just got to keep walking, and you got to keep walking the walk. I have good months and I have bad months. And sometimes I wonder if I should have gone, if I should go work for somebody else. But the freedom and the pride that comes from your own brand,
Yeah.
that's what I fall back on when I start to question, what I'm doing. It's like,
Mhm.
let's keep this going, keep pushing.
What a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know actually is I actually have another company. I have a whole other completely separate other company that does nothing at all related to RC. I have a
I don't want that.
consulting business that and there I do have more permanent. I have numerous employees. Actually, they're all part-time employees, but I have several people that work for me, and we do product development for other companies. We have just a handful of clients that we work for, and they keep us really busy. But it's completely different fields. Really fun, also. But
Yeah.
the collective between that and My Trick RC is just pretty. I'm always busy.
You sound busy.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic.
I know. That's part of the
That-
thing that also makes things a little bit slower. It's just so busy.
Yeah, there's only
A
so
big
many hours
thing
in the
to-
day.
to add as just a quick thing is honesty. You have to be honest with yourself, and if you're able to do everything Dan just said, are you able to not get yourself paid? I mean, you're going to be in the hole. You're going to be up late. I mean, I've been up with Dan until 5 a.m. We've been just working and trying to really get this, and Dan gets right back up in the morning and then continues to do it. I have a family and a life that I go out and do stuff, but he's nonstop. He'll text me or call me, hey, I just thought of this. Or, hey, I just did this. Check out this. Check out that. He's
5 a.m.
nonstop on it. Yeah, he's on it. So
It's
to
what
go
it
along with
takes.
what he says is you have to be honest with yourself. If you can do that to start your own business, Dan had the power and to kick himself in the butt to get it done. It's hard. It's taxing, and that's
My
a huge
only
thing. You have to be
regret-
honest.
My only regret was quitting my job out of the gate. That was, I probably shouldn't have gone in balls deep right out of the gate. I probably should have kept a little cushion. To be stealing a paycheck from Carryall, in the first year was probably doing the business a disservice. If I'm, brutally honest and armchair quarterbacking, my regret was quitting the job. I probably should have ran a more part-time gig and had that income to fall back on. It would have
That's
helped.
good advice. Good advice
in
to
the
keep one foot
beginning.
in the door. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
that
that's
was because it
excellent.
was all in. I mean, and there's no turning back. When I went to the wife and said I'm quitting my job and gambling our life savings away on an idea,
How hard did she
She's-
slap you?
she's like, say that again in English and like let me feel your head and say it again very slowly and clearly so I can hear you in my good ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That is actually really, really, really good advice, to give yourself that buffer, but also that's really a good challenge for yourself to handle both things simultaneously is good preparation for later when you are ready to
for the
cut those
rain,
strings.
for those.
You know that you can push yourself to that level. That's what it takes, because literally that's what it is. It's
Burning the
Can
you're
do
candles
it
at
gonna
both
all.
end up.
ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, literally for a while. You gotta get over those hurdles and speed bumps and the good days and the bad days.
Stick to
But
that vision.
your good days are ahead with Proline by the Fire around the corner. That is the place to find you both, Taylor and Dan, at the My Trick RC booth at Proline by the Fire. We are 1 hour officially over our traditional show. We've taken this
Perfect.
one
2
way
hours.
into, yep, we went way into the boonies. We got to meet the softer and lighter side of Dan and what's happening behind the scenes and what's coming down the pipeline. We couldn't have done it without you, Taylor. You are perfect yin to his yang. And
You are Pat Sajak's Vanna White.
yeah, uh, well said, James. Well said. We will give you parting words. Do you have any special sales happening at Proline by the Fire? If they scream out "Rad Show" at the event, will they save 10% or what? What are we? Anything for anybody that suffered through the 2 hours with them?
Yeah, we always at the show we always discount stuff, so that is
Excellent.
a
Okay.
given. I think what's exciting at the show for us, at least, is we should have the light whips. That's our goal. We're pushing really hard for that.
Okay.
We're working with another company in the industry. Yes, we have a sale going right now. This is our first sale. We've actually never
bingo.
ever done
There he is.
Here we
There he
go.
a sale like this. We figured, hey, what the heck?
LD. Is that LD24? Code
LD24, Labor Day 24.
Labor Day
There you go.
24. There you go. Easy enough to
Yes.
remember. There you
You
go.
needed something
The Labor
simple enough
Day-
to type when you're drunk.
Wow.
Yes.
Perfect. Promo code LD24. We got it. Screenshot that. LD24. That's running what, through Monday? All day Monday?
All day Monday. All day
All
Monday.
day Monday. The Labor Day
15%
sale is
off.
happening. Perfect.
Whatever you buy.
Oh, love it.
And yeah, we have some cool stuff, cool new stuff at Proline. We're shooting. We have like the Proline, the Power Wagon kit, the comp kit, the new lighting pods. We'll have those there. There's a variety of them. The big thing is the light whips. We're really pushing hard to try to have those there. I can't guarantee it, but that's the goal. And what else? Optic. We're pushing hard on that optic kit. Man, there's so many things that we have going on. I'm forgetting some
That's
for
fine.
sure.
The important
But,
thing is
yeah.
to get over to that booth and say hello. Dan is there to welcome you and see what you're doing. Wow, that's nice. Is that a casing that you?
Mhm.
Is that
That's one of the
printed?
new light pods.
Is that injection molded or printed?
It's a combination.
Okay.
The lens
Very
is
clean.
molded.
Very
Yeah,
clean.
and we are actually that is still a 3D printed housing. In the future, we're
Very
looking at
clean.
printing or actually molding those
Molded.
along with a variety of other different ones, different accent lighting, light pods, etc.
Perfect.
We actually are working on a whole new kit. I can't really speak to it yet, but we're working in conjunction with another company in the industry. You guys
Amazing company.
and the goal there again is we're shooting to release at Proline. We hopefully will have some. It'll be exciting. I'm pretty sure you guys will. If you see of anything new at Proline, that will
Look
be
for
one
the
of, look for something lights related to My Trick RC.
on the new.
Probably is.
Because I mean, if you watch Gecko Trail, he's been teasing the shit out of something coming new at Proline by the Fire.
Mhm.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of collaborations happening right now, and Proline by the Fire is usually the place where Element loves to do their magic. I tell the Element story all the time. We were on an airplane flying out of Philly on our way to our first Pro Line by the Fire. Element hadn't existed yet, and it was about a month before Pro Line by the Fire. Element starts dropping this tease, like this new brand is coming, a new company, and we were literally on the airplane when the oh wow hit us. Holy crap! It's going to be happening at Pro Line by the Fire. We were able to hold up the first truck. John Schultz was there debuting everything, and Element continues to do cool stuff at that event. So if you can, if you got the means, get the Pro Line by the Fire. Is where the magic is happening. Otherwise, you want to get to the Hall and Crawl in October to find James Bailey. And you want to come back to the Rad Show to get the lighter side look at Taylor, and we can say it now, Crawlers and Coffee. Coffee and is it Crawlers and Coffee or Coffee and Crawlers? Okay, there it is. It's right behind you.
Yep.
Crawlers and Coffee.
Crawlers first.
Crawlers first. We're going to bring you back. I've got a million questions. I want to know more, but I can tell you all, I haven't heard a bad word about what you've been doing with this. It would be exciting to support what you are doing on your venture. You've sacrificed enough of your time to help out Dan.
Yeah.
We're going to bring you back for a little spotlight on what you're doing also. You're a man of multiple hats. We'll let you wear a different hat.
Too, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
It's not just me. It's a whole bunch of us, and I'll
Perfect.
sweet talk from the guys that sit next to me in the garage.
We want to meet them all. We want to meet them all. That would be fantastic. All right, people, let's try and engage with some of our Labor Day weekend. We'll let you get back to the young ones, Taylor. They're quiet right now. They were crying earlier, so hopefully they're still okay. We'll let you get back to being a dad.
Mom does a lot of work.
All right. We
right,
were
gentlemen.
joking around earlier. You and I are on two opposite ends of the spectrum. You got the little ones, and I got the old ones. Just shipped mine off on our way to college. She's coming back tomorrow because of Labor Day weekend, but
Nice.
it's like
Thank you.
no, she didn't want to come home. If it was not for the dog, if it was not for the dog and cat, I don't think she would have come back. I think she would have stayed up there.
You just gotta keep on- yeah, oh, they need to be fed. You got to come home again.
You need, yeah. It's either she'd rather me Venmo her beer money than have to come home and collect it. So, it's a weird time. They get older. It goes quick. So enjoy every second of it, my friend. That is the best advice I can give you. Is enjoy every second of it. They grow up fast. Taylor, I'm going to fade you out of here first. I thank you so much. I can't wait to get you back in here with us again. So let me.
I like the balloons.
Nice, my man.
Perfect.
What a cool cat. Dan, you found yourself a good one. Don't let him go.
Great.
I'm gonna be like a sniper trying to get him away from you.
I know. No, he's really great.
He is. He did good. He did good.
He's really good at juggling all of that. I met him through Crawlers and Coffee. We're one of the early sponsors, and I was stoked when he came to join us. We've had a blast this past year. We've done a lot of fun stuff, and it's been really cool.
Fantastic. Well, he made you look good. You did well, Dan. You survived. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much, sir, for sitting through this with us here for a couple hours on a Saturday night. James, I'm sure your wheels are turning. Ideas and things that you can
Never
cook
stops.
up using his stuff. But I will let you take it out of here, James, with him if you have any parting words for him.
Well, I'd say thanks, and it was good to see you again. And let's get back to our our Labor Day weekend.
Definitely, and we'll be following up. I need to talk to you. You're not coming out to Proline.
No, not this year.
I'm bummed. You didn't get
I'm
to
not
see
sure.
it, City. Yeah.
Well,
But-
we'll touch base. I'll shoot you a message in the background.
Yeah, definitely.
The seeds are planted, and let's let it blossom from there.
Sounds good.
All
All right, Dan. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
again.
Great
We'll
seeing
be
you
in
again.
touch. James, we survived. That show took us over. We went past, way over. My belly's screaming for a little Breyer's ice cream and a bedtime.
Nice.
I'm
right.
gonna go try and end it with a little nightcap.
All right.
So
Well,
thank you.
thanks for having me, and
Yeah,
we'll catch up soon.
dude. Thank you again. It was a
right.
lot of fun. If anybody does not know, Crawlers and Customs, follow the Instagram page. Bro, you continue to slay it on your reels and your social media. You make us old guys look good. It's not a young man's game out there, and you
Hey,
figured out
I'm a
the
young guy.
secret
Who you
sauce.
talking? Who you talking about?
What you
Old guys?
talking about, Willis? What you?
Actually, I turned 49 this month, so I'm not young.
49. Good for
Yeah.
you. Well,
Yeah.
I brought the gray beards in tonight to make us look smart. We're wise. With age, you
go.
get wise, right?
There you go.
All right.
Hope so.
You know, it was a lot
All
of
right, man.
fun,
Take care.
James. All right,
Yeah,
buddy.
we'll see you
I'll
soon.
talk to you
Bye.
later. All right. Just stand by as I fade us out.
All right.
I'm gonna just stand by. I'm gonna do an official ending. People, everybody hung out to the end. We thank you, and we will share this up tomorrow when we are not live. We will share it all around in case you missed it. Grab your promo codes for LD24. That is Labor Day 24. That is what is going to save you at My Trick RC. And this is the official closing video. So thank you all. We'll see you again next Saturday. Oops. Try it again.